Okay, hi, and welcome to my first masterclass. And in this last masterclass, what we're going to be doing is looking at the reasons why you're not earning more. And I'm focusing today on mindset rather than strategy, because strategy certainly is a part of one of the reasons why you may not be earning as much money as you want to earn. And there's other things as well, but let's just focus on the mindset today because it's probably 80% responsible for the actions that you are taking or the actions that you should be taking. So, hello, I'm starting to get some people coming in now. And I don't want to waste your time, so I don't want to be waiting for people to show up and just raving like a lot of people do. So, I'll just wait a little bit longer as everybody starts to come in. So, the reasons why you're not earning what you want to earn can be strategy, as I've just said. It can be your marketing. It can be that you just don't have the right niche, or you don't have the right information about your niche. You don't really know what their pain points are. You don't really know what their pleasure island points are. More than that, it's how you feel about yourself and how you feel about what you're doing and how confident you are at getting out there, marketing yourself, having sales conversations, and being able to have the money conversations with people. When I interview people, one of the main things that I hear that they struggle with, and my clients struggle with, is asking for the money. So really, that is a mindset thing. That is a confidence thing. That is usually comes down to self-worth. So I'm just checking on my little device here. Just trying to get it to go so that I can see what's going on. Okay. Don't know why it's not working. Okay, so I'm just going to start now, and I'm going to start with my slides. All these notifications coming up. So just bear with me while we go into my slides. So why you're not earning more. Now, let me know in the chat if you are having trouble hearing me or if you're having trouble seeing what it is that I'm doing, because I can't really see from here how it's all going. So why you're not earning more. This webinar is for you if you are feeling stuck, frustrated, doubtful, if you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious, if you feel that there's a glass wall between you and your dream lifestyle, and that you feel that it's all just too hard. And if you're saying to yourself, I'm not good enough, can I really do this? I'm not living the potential I have. And will anybody want what I have to offer? And the feeling that I'm not good enough tends to be at the root of all of those beliefs that are written there. It's I'm not good enough. It's at the root of everything. You are most likely good enough, and you're probably more than good enough, but that belief that you just don't measure up because it's something you've picked up probably from your childhood is what is stifling you from taking action, doing what you know you need to do, doing what you want to do in order to progress. So if any of these beliefs appeal to you, keep watching. So what if you could confidently stand in your power? And by standing in your power, I mean confidently being who you really are, being confident, being visible, and marketing yourself, being seen out there, and standing in the truth of what you really believe, and not being afraid to have criticism, not being afraid to offend people, because there are going to be people out there who will be offended by what you do, believe it or not. And it's having the confidence to stand in that power and to be able to say, well, I'm really believe in this. This is my purpose. This is why I'm here. And I'm just going to do this regardless of what other people think of me. So that you can do what you really love doing and what you feel is really who you are and why you came here. That it's your purpose for being here. And it's what gives your life meaning, or it's one of the many things that gives your life meaning. And you can earn a gorgeous income doing it. So you don't have to be in that situation where you're dreaming about the things that you want to do. Wouldn't it be great if I could earn money doing what I loved instead of being in a situation where you're in a job that you don't like, or a job that's boring, having to work under somebody else's who's dictating to you what to do, what time to turn up, where to turn up. And then you feel like you're not really contributing because you're doing something that isn't really who you are in the first place. You're just doing it for the money. So what I do is I show heart-centered entrepreneurs who are struggling with low business income, feeling stressed and frustrated, how to confidently step into their power, double their income, and live their passion helping others and making the world a better place. I am a certified tapping into wealth coach. I'm really into empowering people and empowering people's life purpose, or what people believe to be is their life purpose, especially women. Because I think as women, we have been disempowered for such a long time that we really do need to step into our power, our feminine power, and bring our feminine power into the world. When women have stepped into the world and into positions of power in the world, we've usually had to step into a male role, and we've had to become like men in order to survive in that world. So the feminine ends up becoming quite hard. It becomes masculinized because there's no allowance for the feminine way in most businesses and in most corporations. So what I'm really, really wanting to do is empower women to be able to step into their life purpose as women, to shine the feminine, to shine the light on the feminine power and how we as women can bring power to the world, bring all of these wonderful qualities of healing, our coaching, our mentoring to the world in a way that is conducive to the feminine. I believe that money creation should be fun. It should be fun. It shouldn't be a drag. It should be something that we enjoy doing. I'm right into the law of attraction. I totally believe that we do create our own reality and that what comes to us is a reflection of what we're putting out. And I love coffee and chocolate. So here are some of my client experiences. So as Donna said, she couldn't believe in the power of the simple process. Now I use emotional freedom technique mostly and some hypnotherapy, some matrix re-imprinting. And they are very simple processes, but they are incredibly powerful. And during the process, she found that her business had turned around, her income had increased. And the greatest thing that she really got from it was how much happier and aligned she was with her authenticity and purpose. So it's not just about money. It's not just about money at all. There's more to it than money. And Katrina said that if I could have shown her a picture of her now, before she started coaching, she wouldn't have hesitated for a second to sign up. She would have realized the value in it. Because like most people, especially these days, because you have so many people wanting to sign you up to their programs, and you have so many programs you probably want to sign up to, that sometimes you just don't know whether it's the right program for you. So during our work together, she became a lot more open, more free. She had more ease with receiving and spending money. And during the end of the process, she actually ended up doubling her income as well. So my goal is to have you leave here, this masterclass, with a clear income goal and crystal clear clarity about what may be blocking you from achieving it. And at the end, some of you may want to take the work further. So I promise that I will share with you a way that you can do that. So let's get started. What we're going to cover today is what is money mindset, why is it important, why is it difficult to change, and how you can change it. So just ask yourself, how would you love to make more money so you can really save, invest, and enjoy life? To live it in a way you choose to live and not just settle for what what is average to you, what's mediocre to you, what is not quite right with you. And what I want you to do now is I want you to grab a piece of paper, or you can use your computer, and we're going to do an exercise. I want you to write down what your ideal business income is for the month of April. So have a think about what it is and write it down. And it's an ideal business income for you. It's ideal. So don't go cutting it back to what you feel you might get, but what your ideal business income is for the month of April. Once you've done that, just put it aside, and we're going to come back to that near the end of the masterclass, and we're going to work on that income goal. So what is money mindset? Your money mindset are your beliefs and your vows about money and about your value, your knowledge and self-worth. It's not just about money. We talk about money mindset to do with beliefs of money is the root of all evil and rich, wealthy people are greedy. And we talk about those really basic things to do with money mindset. But at the end of the day, money mindset isn't just about money, because when you're in business, it's also about you. It's about value. Money equals value. And when you're in business, you're putting value on yourself, your services, and what you have to offer. And even though there are people out there who say you can't put a monetary value on yourself, and as a person you can't, but as a service provider, you can put value on the service that you offer and the value on the results that you deliver to your clients, to your customers, whoever they are. And when you're figuring out how much to charge, whether to charge by the hour or whether to charge via packages, your sense of value, how much you feel you're worth, how much you feel your results are worth is going to come into that. Your knowledge is going to come into that. So many of my clients say they don't know enough yet. They don't feel they're qualified enough. And that all comes down again to self-worth and how you value your life experience that contributes to whatever papers you may have. So why is money mindset important? 95% of your behavior is due to your mindset, is due to your beliefs about yourself and your emotional reactions to those beliefs. It's 95% of your behavior because your beliefs and your emotions are contained mostly in your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is in control of 95% of your behavior and your functioning. That's a huge amount. Your money mindset is important for your marketing and your visibility. If you've got issues with charging a certain amount of money, if you have issues with taking money from people, if you have issues about your worth, your value, your knowledge, you are not going to be out there marketing yourself the way that you need to be, and you're going to be shy of being visible and having people see you and be seen. And it's going to affect your business strategy. If you're working with a business coach and you're working strategically, you may not be implementing what they're suggesting you implement. You may not be taking the steps they want you to take, or you may not be taking them effectively enough because there's blocks in the way, there's beliefs in the way, there's feelings in the way that are stopping you from going forward with those strategies. So you may be guided to do a webinar or a masterclass, and that may be something that terrifies you because it means you have to be visible, and it means that you have to do some teaching and do something new, do something different. And anything new and different is challenging. We are programmed to want to stay the same. We're physiologically programmed that way. We're mentally programmed that way. So to do anything different, which business strategy requires, is going to be really, really challenged by your mindset. And of course, your income. This is going to affect your income and your wealth generation, how you invest your money. Do you invest your money? And your debt. But it's not all in the mind. How you feel emotionally is really important. We feel our emotions through our nervous system, and this affects our energy system, which affects our personal energy signature. So our energy signature is that electromagnetic energy that we exude around ourselves and that other people pick up on intuitively. And if you are into the law of attraction, and if you follow the latest in the quantum science, you will know that our energy also affects the environment around us and what we bring to it. It's like we're communicating with the energy of the entire universe. And that mirrors back to us whatever it is that we're putting out energetically. And of course, our behavior is something that is important as well. And our emotions affect our behavior. So our behavior may be helping us in earning money, or it may be doing the opposite. And by behavior, I mean taking the strategy that you know that you have and implementing it. That's a behavior. Being visible is behavior. Marketing yourself is behavior. But why is it so darn hard to change this? Why is it so hard? We're chemically addicted to how we feel. Chemically addicted to how we feel. That makes it so hard to change, and it's why it's hard to change. We have to break an addiction to how we feel. And it's in our nervous system and it's in our body. We're chemically addicted to how we think. When we're thinking and feeling, our body is producing chemicals. And these chemicals are things that we become addicted to. It's like why we become addicted to alcohol or any kind of drugs or addictive medication. We get a high from our feelings. And if we're used to feeling the same feeling since early childhood, even if they're feelings like fear, sadness, anxiety, anger, we become chemically addicted to them. And that's really hard to change, because when we think about changing, we ask ourselves the question, who will I be? I don't know how I would feel in my skin if I wasn't feeling these feelings all of the time. How we feel gives us an identity. We identify who we are with how we feel. And when we're faced with the opportunity to change, we're very reluctant to change. We're not wired for change. We're wired to stay the same. Yet change we must in order to move forward and have the life that we want to have and to live the purpose that we want to live. Change is a must, and change to our nervous system is really uncomfortable. And that's why most people don't do it. Most people look for shortcuts. Most people want the McDonald's approach, which is, can I just drive through and pick up a change, and then drive out and there it is. It's really hard to change, but not impossible. So how can we change this? Now, there are traditional approaches to change that we've come across over probably the last 30, 40 years. There's the behavioral approach, which is where you're just trying to change behavior. We see that in cognitive behavior therapy and behavior therapy itself, where the belief is that if you just change the behavior, if you just change your behavior, everything will be fine. Your subconscious mind will then adapt and come along for the ride. Now, whilst that does work, it's a very slow process, and it's a process most people don't keep up with, because taking behavior only is going backwards. It's doing it back to front. Our behavior is a response to our subconscious beliefs and feelings. And yes, you can change your subconscious beliefs and feelings by changing your behavior and getting good results. But it's so hard to do that and so uncomfortable that it takes a long time, and most people give up. If you've ever tried to lose weight, go on a diet. If you've ever tried to give up a habit, you'll know what I'm talking about. Most people who are trying to lose weight usually fall off the wagon. Most people, if you're trying to give up a habit, how many times do you fall off the wagon before you give it up? It's because you're trying to change the behavior only. And the behavior is just an aspect of the big picture. Now, there are mental and cognitive approaches to changing mindset as well. And you've probably come across this a lot if you're working with coaches or you've been doing any online courses that have a mindset element to them. And they will be telling you to use affirmations, do reframes, and to work on that cognitive element. And whilst affirmations can work and reframes are helpful, by themselves, unless you have an emotional connection with the truth of those statements, they take a very, very long time to have an effect. And that means that you have to have a positive affirmation for every negative thought that you have. And believe me, when we start tapping, a lot of negative stuff comes up that you didn't even know you thought. There's a lot of subconscious thoughts that you have that you don't even know you have. So taking the cognitive approach is a really slow way of doing it, and it's not that effective on the deep layer stuff. Some of the surface stuff, okay, you can use the cognitive approach, and it may help. It may help shift some things, but on that really deep subconscious level, on that body level, it is not going to help that much. And that's where there's a big problem with the whole mindset industry, the money mindset industry. There are so many mindset courses out there. If they were so effective as they say they are, then why are so many people still struggling with their mindset after they've done mindset courses? I have clients who have done the online mindset courses and they're still coming to me because they still have problems with their money and issues that they have not been able to address with an online mindset course, because these things are really deep. They're things we've learned as children, things we've picked up about ourselves as children, that we've mirrored from the adults around us that affect us very, very deeply. So how can you really change? You really change by connecting the mind, the body, and money together. So you've got the mind, body, money connection. You're connecting your thoughts with your emotions and the reaction in your body. So your behavior, your cognitive affirmations, and your emotions, the work that you do on your nervous system, on your body, working together instead of working separately, are the most effective way to really get change. When I'm working with clients with emotional freedom technique, we get to a point where we do a lot of negative tapping, which is essential to clear that energy, that negative energy, to honor and acknowledge what the protective side of ourselves is doing to protect us, which is actually what our negativity does. It's a way we've learned to protect ourselves when we were children. So it's there to protect us. We need to acknowledge it. We need to honor it. And then as we allow it to go through the nervous system, out of our energy system, we can start then bringing in the reframes. And then the nervous system the subconscious mind is more likely to believe the reframes. But if you're just saying a reframe and your nervous system disagrees with it, your subconscious mind disagrees with it, it's going to be really uncomfortable because it's not going to feel true. And if it doesn't feel true in your body, yet you're saying it in your head, you've got incongruence between your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, and it's the subconscious mind where the juice is, and that's where what you need to speak to. So the holistic approach is the approach that I prefer to use and that I find is the most helpful approach. And that is to focus on the body. What is the body feeling? When you're having an emotion, you know you're having an emotion because you're feeling it in your body. If you didn't have a body, you wouldn't have an emotion because you wouldn't have anything to feel it with. Your body is also your energy system. So it's what's giving out the energy to the universe. So it's really important you take notice of your body. In the cognitive approach, the body isn't part of it at all. It's not considered. It's just you think these thoughts, say these affirmations 30 times a day, and everything's going to be fine. But if your body's not involved, if your emotions aren't involved, and you don't feel the truth of the affirmation in your body, you may as well say Jack and Jill went up the hill, Jack and Jill went up the hill 30 times a day. It's going to have the same effect. So we need to work on the body. We need to work on your thoughts, which is your mindset, and the emotions, and your behavior. So we can do them all together. You can work at changing your behavior by implementing your strategies at the same time that you're working on your thoughts and your beliefs. So you're not just trying to change with using one technique. You're using them all together. It's much more powerful. Because what has to happen is that there has to be a pattern interrupt between the mind-body pattern. So you have a thought which creates an emotion, which reinforces the thought, which reinforces the emotion, which reinforces the thought, which reinforces the emotion. And that's how we get addicted to the emotion. We have to stop that pattern. And the best way to go about that is to do it via the body, via the emotional system and the nervous system. Until recently, our approach to mindset has been to come from the mind, from the thinking, from the conscious mind, that 5% of our mind that we use, to change the nervous system. It's much more effective to actually change the nervous system, because when the nervous system changes and you no longer are having a fear reaction to a situation, so say you have to give a public talk to people and you're terrified of public speaking. When you start to turn the volume down on the terror, on the fear of public speaking, and it starts to turn into excitement, the thoughts behind that, those thoughts of, oh, what happens if I stuff up? What happens if I fall over? What happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? They start to abate as well. Our emotional change in our bodies actually changes our thoughts. You don't even have to change your thoughts deliberately when your body starts to change how it's reacting to something. We get what's called a cognitive shift. So your body starts to calm down around something, say public speaking, and then all of a sudden you go, why did I even feel that? Why did I think that? That's so not true. It just happens. It's a very effective way of working. But because in our culture, we come from a very masculinized culture where everything's heady, 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 we don't acknowledge the body's role, the nervous system's role in our mindset. And it's really important that we do. Because we need to change those synaptic connections. And that happens best by going through the body. Now, our synapses are just neural pathways that where we have a belief, we have a thought, it goes down a neural pathway through it, down a network, and that reinforces the belief by having an emotional reaction. If we change those connections and we have a new belief or a new reaction to a thought, we develop new connections, new neural pathways in our body, in our brain. And when they're reinforced, they become strong. And when the old beliefs are no longer reinforced because we've broken the pattern, then they fall away. The synapses, the connections fall away, and they're not used anymore. So we develop new pathways in our brain, new thoughts, new reactions. And it's not just by changing the thought, it's actually changing the emotional reaction to a thought. That's why EFT is so effective with post-traumatic stress disorder, because it actually acts as a pattern interrupt between the emotions associated with the trauma and the actual vision of the trauma or the memory of the trauma. When you disconnect the negative emotions, the really horrible emotions from the memory doesn't have an impact anymore. It doesn't have an emotional impact. And that's all happening because our brain is plastic and it can develop new neural pathways. So the modalities that I like to use to do this are all the modalities that speak to the subconscious mind. And that's emotional freedom technique or tapping, hypnotherapy, matrix re-imprinting, where we use emotional freedom technique with going back into the past, usually back into childhood as far as we can go. And we work with the inner child. We work with the child who learned that the world was a certain way, that they were a certain way, and that they had to be a certain way. And we go back and we work with that child. And of course, using energy work as well, which all of this is. When you're changing your emotions, when you're changing your subconscious reactions in your body, you are changing your energy system. It is energy work, whether you consciously are trying to change your energy or not. So we're going to go into working with your mindset around your income goal for April so that I can give you a sense of what this actually really feels like. I've just told you all the details about the theory behind it, but I want you to experience for yourself what it actually feels like to feel the emotions running through your nervous system and what they might be. So where you have written down your income, and if you haven't written it down yet, I want you to write it down. So it's your income goal for April. If you're somebody who likes to work quarterly, then write your quarterly goal for the next quarter down. It depends how you like to work. So it doesn't have to be for the month, it can be quarterly. And I want you to sit with it, to really look at it. Look at that amount of money, even if it is bigger than you think is possible. If you ideally want to earn 5K this month or 10K this month, sit with it, look at it. It doesn't matter what amount it is, it's your ideal. And then I want you to say out loud, that's impossible. And rate that on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being really strong and 0 being nothing at all, how true that statement is. That's impossible. If you are somebody who's already been doing a lot of mindset work, particularly if you are into NLP or any of those cognitive approaches to mindset, there's going to be a part of you that will rebel against this because you're told that you should not have a negative thought or a limiting thought, that it's really bad. This is an exercise to uncover what is still underneath the surface that you may be avoiding because you are trying not to be negative. You can try all you might to not be negative, but if those beliefs are really deep inside you, they're going to stay there, no matter how positive you are, unless you change them on that nervous system level. So be honest with yourself, take a breath and go, okay, I'm just going to try this for this exercise to really be honest with how I feel. That's impossible. And just note, what are the two main feelings that come up for you? Now, these are feelings as in emotions. So they're feelings of fear, perhaps, anxiety, shame, guilt, disappointment, feelings. And you're feeling these in your body somewhere. So there might be tension in your solar plexus. There might be tension in your shoulders. What's the feeling? and write them down. And it's quite common for you to struggle with the feeling side of it because we're not used to thinking about feeling. We're not used to experiencing feeling or allowing those negative feelings. Particularly if you're into the cognitive work, feelings generally don't enter into the picture. And then I want you to look at your amount again and say that's impossible because. And to say this is impossible because and finish the sentence will bring up what your two main thoughts or beliefs are. What are you telling yourself when you look at that amount of money? Why is it impossible? What are you telling yourself? I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. Nobody's going to want to pay me. I'm never going to make money doing this. It's too hard to make money doing what I want to do. They're the ones that I hear most often. And this isn't comfortable because you're dealing with things that you've been told you shouldn't be dealing with in mindset work. You're dealing with negative stuff. But you can't have clean dishes until you see the dirt on them to clean away, to have a clean dish. You need to know where the dirt is to clean it off. So don't be afraid of acknowledging negative thoughts and negative feelings. They're your guidance system. They're your body telling you what's not working and what needs to change and what you need to do. So just take your negative thoughts and feelings as advice about what you need to change about your beliefs and your experiences so that you can have the positive feelings and the positive beliefs. And then I want to check your inner value. So this is how you value yourself. So here you've got the sentence, I could not earn that much money because I'm... What's the end of the sentence? Is it because I'm not good enough? Because I'm not popular? Because I'm not like those people I see on Facebook who are doing the lives or the videos and they're really out there and I'm not an out there person. I could not earn that much money because I'm an introvert. Whatever the reasons are, write it down. What comes to mind, the first thing that comes to mind, don't question it, just say it. Just write it down. So don't spend too much time thinking about it. So what I want to ask you now is some really powerful questions. What you've experienced now is your nervous system's reaction to your goal and the thoughts you're telling yourself and the value you have on yourself. Looking at the answers to those questions, how long has it been this way for you? How long have you felt this way, thought this way, and believed your value in this way? And how much has it cost you? Financially, how much money have you lost by allowing these thoughts and these feelings to stop you from moving forward, being visible, marketing yourself? How much has it cost you emotionally? And how much has it cost your health? How much has it cost you in sleepless nights, worrying about your money, worrying about something that's to do with your business? And how much will it continue to cost if you don't do something about it? And doing this exercise and realizing what's really going on underneath the surface gives you clarity. It's clarifying. It lets you know where you're at right now. And it gives you the opportunity to change. Now, in these cases, a lot of people start to then beat themselves up, especially again if you're into the more cognitive mindset work where you've got to always be positive and you've got to always be reframing every thought that you have and totally monitoring yourself all of the time. You can start to get really hard on yourself. So allow yourself some self-compassion here. And don't be so hard on yourself for this. Just use this to understand why and what you're up against inside your brain, inside your nervous system. It's just letting you know where things are at right now. And that gives you the opportunity to do something. So when you look at these statements, and these are written on the sheet of paper that came along with the emails that I gave you regarding this masterclass, which was the money map for your income goal. You will have these written out. You can fill it in now if you've got it in front of you, or you can just look at this on the slides and see how your emotions relate to the first point, which is your nervous system is wired to connect the emotions that you've written down with money and your ability to earn it. And those emotions may be fear and disappointment, or they may be fear and shame, or fear and guilt. Look, fear is probably the most common one, and I'd be really surprised if anyone didn't have fear in there. And the thoughts that you wrote are the things that you habitually say to yourself about money and your ability to earn it, even though they're not true. And you may not even be aware that you're saying these things to yourself, or you may not want to be aware that you're saying these things to yourself because you've been told you shouldn't. So this gives you an opportunity to know what to work on. So now you know that the main money emotion that you should focus on clearing is maybe fear. Maybe it's disappointment. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's shame. So fill in the blank. The main money emotion I should focus on clearing is disappointment, fear, whatever it is. And the big belief I'm battling with is I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. People won't like me. Nobody's going to be interested in what I have to offer. And then you can say, I now know why I earn the amount of money I do. Because these beliefs and these feelings are inhibiting me from energetically doing what I need to do, having the sales conversations, having the money conversation, telling somebody your prices. When somebody's interested in working with you and they ask you, how much is it? Or what do you do? Tell me how. Tell me what your programs are or what your packages are. And then you have to tell them. And all of a sudden, all of these thoughts and beliefs block your energy. And that stops you from being able to really, from a heart level, really open up to helping that person, because that person has come to you because they have something that they need you to help them with. It's whether it's the healing, whether it's coaching, whether it is mentoring, or if you are a reader, whether it's the advice that the cards are giving them, whatever it is that you do. When you have that block between your money, the money side and the value side, you're blocking the opportunity for that person to be able to work with you, which means that you're blocking their opportunity to be able to benefit from what it is that you have to offer. So what you've just learned is a very simple method to find the top limiting beliefs, emotions around your income goal, and even the ones you didn't know were in there. And now each of you know what you have to work on. And you can do this with your income, and you could do this for your income goal every month as an exercise. And then ask yourself, true or false? If I don't change this, it will continue. True or false? What will happen if you don't do something about these beliefs? Now, these are only surface beliefs too, surface feelings. There's a lot more possibly underneath these feelings and these beliefs that are going to need more than just a reframe. They could be things that you've picked up in your childhood that run deep. What your family's beliefs around money and mindset is. How your family reacted to money. How would your family react to your income goal? If you don't change this, is it going to continue? Will the cost continue? And from doing this exercise, you realize that it's bigger than money. And these things you wrote down were things about yourself and your beliefs about other people. They didn't really have that much to do with money. They were really to do with yourself. We get so caught up in the general money mindset thing that it's all totally about money, 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 but it's not. It's about yourself and your relation to money and your relationship to your own value. Because money is value. Money equals value. And you realize that it's actually cost you a lot more than money in the end. It's cost you emotionally. It's possibly cost your health. It's cost you a lot. And don't worry if you are feeling a bit unwell at the moment in regards to realizing how you're really feeling about money and it's making you uncomfortable. We are going to do some tapping at the end of this to alleviate that feeling. So when your money-specific inner world changes, your outer world changes as well. We do the law of attraction work to try and attract money and clients to us, and we do all of these things to try and change the outer world. But the magic happens when we change the inner world, when we change our own energy signature, because then things just happen. Because on an inner level, we have them already. And that's what the key to law of attraction is. It's the feeling of already having what it is that you want. So when we work on ourselves internally, our outer world is a reflection of that. Our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. And trying to change it externally generally doesn't work very well. So it's all about the internal change, the internal magic. So what does that mean to you? What does it mean to you? Changing your inner world so that you don't even have to think about changing your outer world, because it's just going to change along with it. So what my offer is today is actually something free. I'm not offering any programs or any memberships or any online programs. I'm offering today the opportunity for you to have a 40-minute money clarity session with me, even if you've already had one. Because you may have had one 3 months ago, things may have changed, or things may not have changed. It's about getting that clarity about where you are now, where you want to be, and what may be stopping you. And I do offer programs and I do offer sessions. But what I really like to do is to find out where people are at and to help you find out where you're at so that you can know what it is that you need. Maybe it's strategy you need. more than mindset. Maybe it's mindset is really what's holding you back and you need to do some serious work on it. Maybe it's a bit of both. Having that clarity session just gives you an opportunity to be more clear about what may be holding you back. So we look at what's holding you back. We look at your money goals, short and long term. We look at what obstacles and mindset blocks are there stopping you. And then I'll give you my recommendation and some strategy to move forward. And it depends on what comes out of the conversation. So if you are really keen to do something about changing your mindset because you realize this is really what's disabling you at the moment, my booking details are there on the screen. They are also, if you're watching the repeat of this video, they will be in the description field in the YouTube description. And the web page that you may be watching from has got the clarity session button at the bottom of the video. So if you click on those links, you can book a 40-minute clarity session with me. And we'll get to the bottom of what your situation really is and what you can do about it. That is the end of my slideshow. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do some tapping on what came up for you. So I'm just going to bring my video back so you can see me so that we can do the tapping. Now, I gave you the tapping script as a handout. You may have it there in front of you. You may not. That's okay. We'll just go through with the tapping anyway. I am going to tap on the main thoughts, the main beliefs and feelings that people have when I'm talking to them and I'm working with clients. So the emotions that I'm going to work with will be the fear, shame, and shame, and disappointment, because they're probably the top three feelings. If they're different for you, just put in your feelings. So you may have different feeling. You may have fear. You may have guilt instead of shame. Put what your feelings are when I talk about the feelings. When I talk about the thoughts and mention the thoughts, I'm going to use the most common thoughts, which is I'm not good enough, people won't like me, and I won't be able to make money out of this. I can't make money. Nobody's going to buy what I have to offer. I might use that one. And this is just to give you a taste of tapping and also to give you an understanding of how it changes your energy system. It's just a tapping script. You've got it there. We'll email it out to you afterwards. And just doing this every day can start to just relax you a little bit more around the concept of money. So I'm just going to go into where I've got the tapping script before me so that we're all doing the same tapping. Now, if you're new to tapping, I'm going to use a quick tap method. So the quick tap method isn't, if you're into traditional EFT, there's going to be things I'm going to leave out. I'm going to do the quick tap method. The first point is the eyebrow point. So that's where your eyebrows start. So you've got two there, two eyebrows. In order to get the right point, I usually use 3 fingers. So to tap on the point, it's like between the eyebrows, even though you are touching the end of your eyebrows there. So you're getting those points. The next point is on the side of the eye, the bone, the indentation at the side of the eye here. The next point is going to be under the eye. So there's the bone under the eye is the next point. The one after that is under the nose. And then you've got the cleft of the chin. The next point is the collarbone point, which is a great point if you're feeling nervous. If you are doing any public speaking, or you're going to do a webinar, or if you're going to do Facebook Live and you're really nervous, this is the best point to tap on. It really calms the nervous system. You've got your collarbone here and you've got your sternum here. They meet here, and if you go out on a 45-degree angle, you have the collarbone point. It's brilliant for anxiety. And the next point is going to be under the arm. which you may not be able to see here, which is where your bra line is for ladies. So just follow me. Don't worry if you get it wrong for now, just follow along. And we're going to do some very general tapping on what it is that you've written down. And I'm going to use the words that I most commonly hear. So let's begin. The truth is, every time I think about money, my nervous system is wired to react with fear and shame and disappointment. And I really feel it. But I don't want to feel that. It's uncomfortable. No wonder I don't want to focus on my finances. My nervous system runs with those feelings of fear, shame, and disappointment. My nervous system runs with those feelings. I forgot the head point. There's a point on the top of your head. Creature of habit. My nervous system runs with the feelings of shame, fear, and disappointment. Over and over, I feel fear and shame and disappointment. I feel it in my chest, my stomach, even my head, my heart, my whole body. All of these awful feelings of fear and shame and disappointment. And I wonder just how long I felt this in reaction to money. How long have I felt this in reaction to money? And I start thinking thoughts that feel really true. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough. Nobody's going to buy what I have to offer. And I don't know enough. And I think them over and over, like a recorder. And those thoughts always feel true. And that hurts. Those negative thoughts and words have always seemed true. And they always seem to get proved as true over and over. So I say to myself again and again, I'm not good enough. People won't want to buy what I have to offer. I don't know enough. I say these things to myself. I'm not good enough. Nobody's going to want what I have to offer. I don't know enough. And when I play those thoughts in my head, I feel more fear and shame and disappointment. It's a vicious cycle. No wonder I'm not spending time setting goals and managing money. I totally honor my nervous system is wired to react this way. I totally honor my thoughts are programmed to run this way. It's been happening without my knowledge or choice. And I'm open to changing this. I'm open to observing this and questioning this. Every time I feel it come up and hear it come up. I am open to rewiring my nervous system for my highest good. I am open to rewiring my habitual thinking for my highest good. I am open to a whole new way of thinking and feeling about my money and my wealth. I am open to having new choice. New choice in how much I can earn, create, manage, and save. Because when I shift, everything shifts. Clearing out the old that I don't want and choosing a new way, my way. And I'm shifting into a new empowered yes about money. I am now saying yes to money. Yes to earning more. Yes to receiving more. Yes to money. Yes to wealth. Yes to managing and creating more. Yes to asking and receiving more. And yes to the best ideas, the inspiration, the strategies and action for my highest good. I'm saying yes to money. I'm saying yes to my tribe. I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes to money. Okay, so taking a deep breath in and letting it out. So check in with yourself and see how you feel. You may feel hopefully more calm when you go back and ask yourself those questions about your income goal. How are you feeling about it now? Now, with tapping, there should be some kind of a change. Sometimes the first round of tapping will actually make the emotions worse because it's drawing them out. In most cases, it usually calms them. So if your fear was a 10, like really intense, maybe now it's an 8. And the more tapping that you do, being more specific with what comes up during your tapping, because things may have come up for you while you were doing the tapping, other thoughts, other feelings, emotions, maybe even some memories or some thoughts of your family, or maybe you remember your dad coming home and looking at the bills and worrying about paying the bills, or what their thoughts were about money. Things may have just come into your mind while you were doing the tapping. And those are things that during a tapping process we would use to tap on as well, to get to the source and to the core of what the feelings really are and the beliefs really are. So keep that script, keep tapping until you can bring those emotions down to a 0, because that's what we're really aiming for, is a 0 in the fear department. That script on its own is just an example of some tapping. It's not going to remedy your situation by itself. It's just a taste of what the tapping process is, and it just gives you something to take with you to use for yourself. And when you are setting your income goals, use the tapping script before you set them. And do some tapping like that on any thought or feeling that comes up for you before your money conversations. So if you've got a money conversation with a potential client and they're asking you the price, or you're ready to tell them the prices, do some tapping before that session that you're having with them, before you speak to them. So whether that's a meeting that you have up over Skype, or whether it's one-to-one, or however you work, if you're a healer, maybe it's over the phone, you get somebody inquiring, make sure you do your tapping every day if it's something that scares you, because it's really important. So does anybody have any questions? And I know there's a delay in with YouTube. So while I'm waiting for that, I'd like to thank you all for attending this masterclass. As I said at the beginning, it is my first one, and I'm hoping to do a series of them that will be looking at what I do with my clients on a very basic level. So it'll be taking you through introducing you to some of the concepts behind mindset work, and some of the work that I do to help people really change their mindset on that very deep level, so that they are actually changing and empowering themselves in the process. So thank you for attending, and I will see you on my next webinar. So bye for now.